Well, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Mama Jane's husband, and this is
Mama Jane.
And welcome to another of our videos. We are a few more days into the voyage on the Queen Elizabeth from Cunard, and we are travelling across the Atlantic at the moment.
Big lot of sea.
It's a lot of sea, isn't it?
It's a lot of water.
A lot of water.
Yeah.
We are going to talk today about our trip to Vigo in Spain, and which was very pleasant. We enjoyed it. And we approached Vigo, and I was lucky enough to be up for the sunrise. And it was a spectacular sunrise, and we've got a few photos of that for you. But as you're going into Vigo, you see these, well, I didn't know what they were. I thought there were lots of little small boats parked up, and I thought, oh, that's nice. And I'll tell you more about them later, what they actually are. And we parked up, boat parked up, a ship parked up. Ship. Good dear. Can't get the stuff, can you? No. Thank you for that correction.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. And we got off very easily, found the coach, all went very, very smooth. The coach was absolutely jammed. It was every seat was taken on the coach.
Masks were worn.
Masks were compulsory.
But even so, it was
packed.
There wasn't a spare seat.
And we had an hour and a quarter journey to where we were going, which was Santiago de Compostela, which I've always wanted to go to and was looking forward to it. And we had a very pleasant journey, and we learned lots about where we are, the region of Spain we are. And we learned what those strange little things were in the estuary. They're mussel farms. Who knew? I certainly didn't. And apparently the fresh water coming into the estuary and mixing with the ocean makes the ideal conditions for mussels to be grown. So they're all mussel farms. And we found out, didn't we, Mama Jane?
Oh, yeah.
That this region produces the most mussels in Europe, and only China produces more mussels than this region of Spain in the whole wide world, which is quite amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And did we learn anything about the region?
Yeah, we did. Well, Galicia, which is where Vigo is it's not really like the Spain that we think of, you know, the beaches, the sunshine. It's more Celtic. And in fact, bagpipes are the thing, apparently. They get masses of rain. They say it's not the rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain. The rain in Spain stays mainly in Vigo and Galicia. It's really very wet, which is why it's so green. The people there are much more of a Celtic persuasion. They eat potatoes apparently every day, not the pasta, not the that kind of thing. They eat potatoes. They are more Irish, Scottish in how they live and who they are. So that was quite interesting. I never really thought about, No.
You pronounce that, can you say that again? Galicia?
It's not Galicia.
How do you say it then?
Galicia.
That's very good.
Galicia.
Isn't she good, Mama Jane? She's good at these things, you see.
Was funny.
And we got to Santiago de Compostela, and we had quite a walk up into the town from where the buses park. This is to protect the old town and everything like that. So be prepared for quite an uphill walk. As we were coming into Santiago de Compostela, we saw lots of pilgrims, walking their final mile into the area and arriving. And actually, it was a really humbling experience to see people who had done the journey. You've got to do a minimum 100 kilometers to qualify as a pilgrim, and you get your card stamped on the way to show that you've been to various places. To get your certificate.
Your Jubilee.
Your Jubilee, yeah. And it was actually humbling to watch them. But it was a real privilege then when they were arriving to take their photos in front of the cathedral, and to see the pain on their face as they were arriving after this enormous walk, but also the joy that they'd achieved it. So I was quite taken by all that. We are now and after our short walk uphill, we needed refreshments already, and we went into the one hotel that's in the square where the cathedral is, which was an ancient hospital. Is that right?
Yeah.
And what did you think of the cakes and the coffee?
The cakes were lovely, the coffee was lovely, and it was this was all included in the tour. It was very nice.
And we had it in what must have been a medieval barn.
Yeah, like a baronial hall.
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
We've been in a few of those in our lives, haven't we?
Yeah.
We like going round old sites, and we've been in our fair few baronial halls, haven't we? Yes,
Certainly have. Yeah.
So we did that. We had that. Everybody had a toilet break, which took an interminable amount of time.
One problem with such things, there were hundreds of tourists. I mean, hundreds. We weren't just our bus. And there are 2 toilets. Now that is never good. The boys is different because you can sort of, I don't know, is it? Do you stand up?
No door in the boys.
No,
it was quite an adventure.
Yeah.
All the girls were queuing past the boys' toilet, and we all had to have a wee inside. It was quite an adventure.
Oh, I missed that queue.
Yeah, you missed
I
that
missed that queue.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was quite humbling also. Yeah, but yeah, but if we're talking about humble, the next part is the cathedral. And humble it is not. In fact, it is the blingiest of bling cathedrals I've ever been in. And I've been in many cathedrals because we're in the trade, you do it. So I found it quite, these people have walked hundreds of miles to get to this place. And then they're faced with this thing. Now, in there are many little chapel-y things, and they were nice. And then there was one in particular. Now, I thought when you arrive at this place, I didn't realise it was going to be a huge, big cathedral. Not read the tourist guide.
Should have done the research.
I should have done the research, and I didn't.
I've done
the research. So he was not surprised. I was utterly shocked, really, that this thing was what people walked hundreds of miles to get to. That's just my personal opinion, and as I say, it was beautiful. You cannot, if you like bling, get yourself off there because you'll love it. Yeah. It
was definitely the blingiest cathedral I think we've been in, and we've been in the main St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome, and I thought this was a bit blingier than that actually. But before we got inside the cathedral, because there was a mass on, and quite rightly we weren't allowed in during the mass, we had a tour around the outside of the cathedral, guided tour, which was included in the price. And this was quite interesting as we walked around the cathedral, and there's 4 squares at each of the 4 corners of the cathedral, and we were told about it, some of the practices that go on. All very interesting, and there's some noticeable statues which I'll put in the video, and I'm particularly taken by 1 or 2 of them, and you'll see some of the artwork. And the history of Santiago de Compostela is that they found, in theory, the bones of St. James in medieval times, and they're in a silver casket, which you can go to see the silver casket. And it's up to you whether you believe St. James's bones are in there or not. And that's why pilgrims come. It's part of a faith journey. The journey is often the most important part of it, not actually the destination. And that's why Santiago de Compostela grew up as a place of pilgrimage, because reputedly the bones of James the Apostle are held here. What I found more touching was one of the small chapels in one of the corners. Don't miss it. So make sure you don't just go to the main part of the cathedral, but search out a side chapel right in one of the corners, which is beautiful, and actually we prayed in there for
that was lovely. And that was more what I thought it would be, not this magnificent.
It had a beautiful baptistry, very humble, small baptistry, and had stations of the cross around the side. And again, they were just simple Roman numerals for stations. It was for me
A holy place.
A holy place, yeah.
The other was a tourist attraction. And make of that as you will. You know, if that's what you like, then go for it.
So the history of Santiago de Compostela is that they built a small chapel of it when they found the bones. Then they built a church there, and then later they built this huge cathedral there. And it's a very Gothic cathedral. Where by the side of it, you can see what was probably more like the church was when it was built earlier than the Gothic creation you now see. And in fact, the hotel we're in and some of the buildings by the sides of the cathedral are more reflective of what the church would have probably looked like when it was originally built. We didn't have time to get to see the whole of Santiago de Compostela. There's other sites that you can get to see in this ancient town or city, and we'll probably need to go. Well, we will go back. We decided we're going to go back, but we'll go unguided next time, as there's plenty of information on the internet for you to get around and see the other sites, and plenty of bars and cafes and shops and things like this to look at.
If you think you're going to a site that is a humble end of a pilgrimage journey, don't go, because it is not. It is a mega tourist attraction. There are so many gift shops selling all the usual stuff that gift shops sell, so you do have to get past that and to see the beauty. And
it is the capital of the region as well. That's what we have to understand, is that Santiago de Compostela is the capital. This is where it's the seat of government for Galician.
And the square where the cathedral is and where we went in the hotel and all that. This is it's the whole. The whole everything is there. The mayor, the government, everything is in this one square. So it's very interesting. Don't get me wrong, it's very interesting. And our guide was very, very informative. And she also comes from the area. She's a local person. So yeah, it was very good, but not what I thought I was going to. So.
But you'd be happy to go back.
Oh yeah.
So our first shore visit was very successful. We had a nice journey back. We had a little detour around Vigo itself, and it's a very industrial port. Very industrial port. Apparently, the Spanish fishing fleet is based in Vigo and sails out of Vigo. So it's a very industrial port, but we had a very pleasant day. And in fact, we then saw the sun setting as well, didn't we?
Beautiful.
From what's called the Commodore Bar. Very nice bar. A bit like
on the ship.
On the ship. A bit like the Crow's Nest on P&O, if you've ever been on the Crow's Nest on any of P&O's ships. Anyway, it's a good morning from me, and it's a good morning from her. And so together we'll say,
good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.